Have you ever imagined standing beneath a sky that refuses to go dark? Not because of the sun, not because of city lights, but because nature simply won't stop flashing. Imagine it's midnight. You're standing beside a massive lake. The air is warm. The water is completely still. Nothing feels unusual. Then, a single bolt of lightning tears across the sky. You wait for the thunder. Before it arrives, another bolt appears. Then another. And another. Within minutes, you've stopped counting. The storm doesn't seem to move away. It doesn't fade. It doesn't end. Instead, the entire horizon becomes a giant natural light show. If someone told you this happened every single night, would you believe them? Most people wouldn't. It sounds impossible. Like something created with special effects for a Hollywood movie. But this place is real. Hidden in northwestern Venezuela, near the vast waters of Lake Maracaibo, exists one of Earth's greatest natural mysteries. A place where lightning appears more often than anywhere else on our planet. Scientists call it Catatumbo Lightning. Locals have another name: the everlasting storm. That name isn't an exaggeration. There are nights when the sky erupts with thousands of lightning strikes. Imagine trying to sleep while flashes light up your room. Again, again, and again. Sometimes, the lightning arrives almost every second. You don't need fireworks. Nature puts on a far greater show. For centuries, people living here believed the heavens were speaking. Some thought powerful spirits lived above the lake. Others believed the endless lightning protected the land from evil. Legends grew with every generation. Because when something happens every night, people naturally search for extraordinary answers. Even sailors learned to depend on it. Long before GPS, long before radar, ships crossing the Caribbean Sea could see the flashes from hundreds of kilometers away. The storm became a natural lighthouse. Imagine sailing through complete darkness. No modern technology. Only the stars, the waves. And suddenly, the horizon begins flashing like a giant beacon. Without realizing it, nature was guiding sailors safely home. That's incredible. But here's where the story becomes even stranger. Scientists eventually arrived, certain they would solve the mystery. After all, lightning is nothing new. We've all seen thunderstorms. We've all heard thunder. How different could this place really be? The answer surprised everyone. Think of the atmosphere as a giant invisible battery. Every second, warm, humid air rises from the surface of Lake Maracaibo. At the same time, cool air rushes down from the surrounding Andes Mountains. Those two air masses collide. Higher and higher. The moisture climbs into the sky. Inside enormous storm clouds, tiny ice crystals, water droplets, and powerful winds crash into each other thousands of times every second. Every collision separates electrical charges. Positive charges gather in one part of the cloud. Negative charges gather somewhere else. Now imagine charging your phone. The battery slowly fills. Nothing happens at first. Then, eventually, it reaches its limit. The atmosphere works in almost the same way. The clouds keep storing electrical energy until nature simply can't hold it anymore. Then, the sky presses its own reset button. Lightning. One bolt. Then another. Then hundreds more. It's one of the most spectacular electrical displays on Earth. That explains how lightning forms. But it doesn't answer the biggest question. Why here? Earth has lakes. Earth has mountains. Earth has warm air and cold air. Yet nowhere else produces lightning with this kind of consistency. Some researchers believe hidden wind patterns keep feeding the storms. Others suspect gases released from nearby wetlands may help the atmosphere become even more electrically active. There are even scientists who argue we still haven't discovered every piece of the puzzle. Think about that. We've sent probes beyond our solar system. We've landed robots on Mars. We've photographed black holes. Yet here on Earth, one of nature's greatest light shows still refuses to reveal all of its secrets. Maybe the answer has been hiding in plain sight all along. Or maybe we've been asking the wrong question. That's where our story truly begins. If Catatumbo Lightning is simply another thunderstorm, then why doesn't every large lake on Earth create the same endless spectacle? Why isn't this happening in Canada? Or Africa? Or Southeast Asia? Scientists spent decades asking those exact questions. And every new answer only made the mystery even deeper. Let's go back to that quiet night beside Lake Maracaibo. At first glance, nothing looks extraordinary. A peaceful lake, towering mountains, warm tropical air. It almost feels ordinary. But appearances can be deceiving, because this landscape is secretly working together, like the parts of a giant machine. Imagine placing a bowl between three walls. Now pour water into it. The water has nowhere else to go. Air behaves in a surprisingly similar way. Lake Maracaibo constantly releases warm, moisture-filled air. That air begins to rise. Normally, it would drift away. But here, the Andes Mountains surround much of the lake. Instead of escaping, the warm air becomes trapped. Every hour, more warm air arrives. More moisture builds. The invisible battery keeps charging. Now picture millions of tiny ice crystals racing through enormous storm clouds. Every collision creates a tiny electrical charge. By itself, one collision means almost nothing. But millions of collisions become billions. The cloud slowly separates into two gigantic electrical regions. Positive charges gather high above. Negative charges collect below. The tension keeps growing. Nature can only hold that energy for so long. Then, the sky explodes. A single lightning bolt can heat the surrounding air to temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. Think about that. You're watching something that briefly becomes hotter than our own star. And yet, the flash lasts less than a second. That's incredible. But Catatumbo refuses to stop after one strike. The process immediately begins again. Warm air continues rising. Cold air continues descending. Clouds continue growing. Electricity continues building. The entire cycle repeats. Hour after hour. Night after night. It's almost as though the atmosphere has become trapped inside an endless loop. For many scientists, that explanation seemed convincing. Until something unexpected happened. In 2010, the lightning suddenly disappeared. Not for a few minutes. Not for one night. It vanished. For weeks. Imagine living in a place where lightning has flashed almost every night for generations. Then one evening, nothing. No brilliant flashes. No thunder. Only silence. People were stunned. Some feared. The legendary storm had finally ended forever. Scientists rushed to investigate. Had climate changed? Was the atmosphere different? Had they misunderstood everything? Eventually, the lightning returned. But that strange disappearance revealed something important. Even the world's most active lightning storm isn't completely understood. There are still hidden pieces scientists haven't found. Some researchers believe seasonal weather patterns are responsible. Others think changes in lake temperatures or shifting wind systems can interrupt the entire process. The truth remains uncertain. And uncertainty is exactly what keeps this mystery alive. Because science isn't just about finding answers. Sometimes, the greatest discoveries begin when the answers stop making sense. Catatumbo Lightning isn't just beautiful. It isn't just powerful. It's one of the few places on Earth that continues reminding us nature still has secrets we've barely begun to understand. But here's the question that changes everything. If lightning here is unlike anywhere else on Earth, could it be doing something we've never noticed before? That's exactly what scientists began investigating next. But here's the twist. What if one day, the world's greatest lightning storm simply stopped? It sounds impossible. After all, Catatumbo Lightning has flashed across the Venezuelan sky for centuries. Generation after generation, people believed it would never end. It had become part of life. Part of history. Almost. Part of nature itself. But nature can always surprise us. In 2010, something happened that shocked both locals and scientists. Night arrived. People looked toward the horizon, waiting for the familiar flashes. Nothing. An hour passed. Still nothing. One night became several. Several became weeks. The everlasting storm had gone silent. Imagine living beside the world's most famous lightning storm, only to realize the sky had suddenly forgotten how to shine. People began asking questions. Had the legend finally ended? Was this one of the biggest changes in Earth's atmosphere? Or had scientists misunderstood Catatumbo Lightning from the very beginning? Researchers immediately began searching for answers. Some believed an unusually severe drought had reduced the amount of moisture rising from Lake Maracaibo. Less moisture means fewer storm clouds. Fewer storm clouds mean fewer electrical collisions. Others suggested large-scale climate patterns had temporarily changed the winds feeding the basin. The invisible machine had briefly stopped working. Eventually, the lightning returned. But those silent weeks changed everything. Because they proved one important fact. Catatumbo Lightning isn't invincible. It's incredibly powerful. It's incredibly consistent. But it still depends on a delicate balance of nature. That realization raised an even bigger question. What happens if Earth's climate continues changing? Scientists have noticed something interesting. Storm patterns around the world are already becoming less predictable. Some regions experience stronger storms than ever before. Others become drier every year. If Lake Maracaibo changes, even slightly, could the world's greatest lightning show disappear forever? Nobody knows. And perhaps that's the most fascinating part of this story. We're not just watching an incredible natural phenomenon. We're watching something that may still be changing, even today. Think about that for a moment. Most natural wonders remain exactly where they are. Mountains, canyons, waterfalls. They don't suddenly vanish overnight. But Catatumbo Lightning is alive. Every single night, the atmosphere decides whether the show continues or not. That's what makes it different. You're not looking at a monument. You're watching a living system. Breathing, changing, responding to the planet around it. Maybe that's why scientists keep returning. Not because they've solved the mystery, but because every year, the mystery changes. Every new season brings different data, different storms, different questions. And every answer creates another puzzle. There's another reason researchers are fascinated by Catatumbo. Lightning isn't just beautiful. It's one of the most powerful natural forces on Earth. Each bolt releases an astonishing amount of energy in a fraction of a second. For decades, scientists have wondered, could understanding places like Catatumbo help us better predict storms, protect communities, or even unlock new discoveries about Earth's atmosphere? In other words, this isn't only about curiosity. It's about understanding the planet we call home. Because every flash is carrying information. Every storm is writing another page in a story we're still learning to read. But one mystery remains unsolved. If Catatumbo Lightning is Earth's greatest natural light show, is it truly the most extraordinary weather phenomenon on our planet? Or is there something even stranger waiting to be discovered? That's exactly where our journey takes us next. Every mystery we've explored today leads to one final question. What if Catatumbo Lightning isn't the real mystery? What if the real mystery is us? Think about it. For hundreds of years, this incredible storm has continued exactly as it always has. Night after night, generation after generation, the sky keeps speaking. Yet humanity has only recently started listening. How many other wonders have we walked past without ever realizing how extraordinary they were? Imagine standing on the shore of Lake Maracaibo one last time. The sun slowly disappears. Darkness begins covering the water. For a brief moment, everything becomes silent. No wind, no thunder, no movement. You begin wondering, maybe tonight, nothing will happen. Then, the first flash appears. A single bolt cuts across the sky. Before your eyes can adjust, another follows. Then another. Soon, the clouds themselves seem alive. Every flash reflects across the lake, turning black water into liquid silver. The mountains become nothing more than dark shadows. The horizon breathes with light. No concert, no fireworks, no city skyline could ever compete with what nature creates here. Completely free, completely wild, and completely real. That's the part many people forget. This isn't a movie. There are no visual effects, no computer graphics. No one presses a button to begin the show. Nature performs this masterpiece every single year, whether anyone is watching or not. Isn't that incredible? We've spent billions of dollars searching for extraordinary places across the universe. We've sent spacecraft beyond the edge of our solar system. We've photographed distant galaxies. Yet one of Earth's greatest spectacles has been waiting quietly on our own planet. Maybe the greatest adventure isn't finding another world. Maybe it's finally learning to appreciate this one. Because every mountain, every ocean, every storm has a story. Some stories explain themselves. Others keep their secrets forever. Catatumbo Lightning may never reveal every answer. Scientists will continue measuring the atmosphere. They'll launch weather balloons, build more powerful satellites, collect more data, and perhaps one day, they'll solve every remaining mystery. But here's something worth remembering. The moment every mystery is solved, wonder begins to disappear. Maybe some questions are meant to survive, because unanswered questions push humanity forward. They inspire explorers, scientists, dreamers, and curious people like you. Perhaps that's why this storm still matters. Not because it's the brightest, not because it's the biggest, but because it reminds us that our planet is still capable of surprising us. Even today. Before you leave, let me ask you one last question. If Earth is hiding a place like this, how many other incredible mysteries are still waiting for someone curious enough to discover them? If today's journey amazed you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Beyond, and turn on the notification bell. Because this is only one mystery among thousands. Every week, we'll travel beyond the ordinary to uncover stories that sound impossible until you realize they're completely real. Until our next adventure, keep looking beyond the obvious. Keep asking impossible questions. Because sometimes, the greatest mystery isn't somewhere out there. It's been right here, all along.